Hi everyone, you're welcome to my channel. Thank you for always coming back here to watch my videos. If you are new here, thank you for stopping by. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to make this trendy bridal and Aso Ebi Handfan. If this is something you want to learn how to make, keep on watching. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe now and turn on your post notification bells to get notified anytime I upload new videos. So guys, let's get started. These are the materials I am going to be working with. I have my boning here. This is one of the smallest. You can also make use of a fascinated wire instead of a boning. I have a sequence lace and I also have a two net in black. You need about 1 yard or 2 yards of this and then a gum. You can also use a hot glue instead of a gum. I have a shining velvet bias here and then a tape. You can make use of a paper tape as well. I will also be making use of this thing used by shoemakers. It is called Mako. So these are the things I'm going to be working with. So now I'm going to start by cutting out the bone and I'll be cutting it using 20 inches long. I will be cutting out 4 of it because I want 4 circles. So 20 inches is what I'll be using to cut my circles out. After cutting it, go ahead and fold it like this, one on top of the other, and then cut some out of your tape. You'll be using it to hold it in place. So I'm going to place it together like this, and then I'm just going to use my tape to hold it down in place. You can also use your thread to tie it together if you do not have a tape. After I was done taping it down firmly, this is what I had, and I will go ahead to do the same thing for 3 more bones. So guys, I have 4 bones in total now, and this is what I'm going to be working with for this hand fan. You can do 3, you can do 4, you can even do 5. It all depends on your choice. So when I'm through with this, I'm going to be working with my gum, and the next thing I will do is to cover up the bones with my velvet bias. So I'll place my glue on my bias like this, as you can see, and I'm just going to place the bias on my bone like this. So I will try to hold it in place. So now I'll be turning it around to cover up the bone with my bias. Just cover it up like this. I am going to do this all the way around until I get to the other end. Just watch the way I am doing mine. When I get very close to the tape, I will just cut the bias off. I don't want to use the bias to cover it up entirely because I don't want it to be too bulky in that area. So what I'm going to do now is just to use my needle and thread to secure this area. You can actually use your gum, but I just use my needle and thread because I trust it to do the job well for me. So I'm just tacking it down here to make sure that it is secured. So once I'm through with this, the next thing I'll be doing is to cover it up with my net. So this is what it looks like after I was done wrapping it all the way around. So the next thing I am going to do now is to cover it with my net, and I am going to wrap it with my net like this, as you can see, and then pack all the gathers to one edge. Guys, the edge I am packing the gathers to is that edge where I left my tape. that is the black tape. So I am packing it to that edge. I am trying as much as possible so that the shape of my bone still remains. So once you've gotten this, go ahead and use your needle and thread to secure it on one end and tie it up just the way you see me do, like this. I am going to tie this up very firmly, and then I will just go in with needle and thread just to make sure it is secured in place before I cut it off. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done wrapping it with my net. As you can see, it looks very neat and it still retains the shape. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other ones. So guys, I already wrapped all the four bones with my net, and what I'm going to do now is to take them two, placing one on top of the other and just stitching them together nicely. I will just use that bone area as a template. I'm just going to be stitching the bone areas. As you can see, I'll just go back and forth just to join these two pieces together. So when I'm done with these two pieces, I will join the other two pieces together as well, and then all four of them together to give me a combined shape. I am just stitching it together on top of each other, tacking it here and there just to make sure it is movable so that you can actually adjust it to what you want. So now I'm arranging all four pieces together, and I'm just going to make a stitch on the bone area at the center. I am done joining all the four pieces together, and this is what it looks like. So from somewhere into outside, I measure about 4.5 inches, and I use that to create a circle. So guys, I just made a point around somewhere here, and from the center point I use that 4.5 inches that I have to create a circle. So now I'm using the 4.5 inches as a radius for my circle. I'm using this brown paper before I am going to go ahead to cut it out from my marker. I am going to go ahead and cut it out now. Guys, you actually need a hard material for this, and that is why I am using a marker. You can also use a carton in place of a marker, but just make sure the carton is hard. So now guys, I'll be cutting my brown paper into two equal halves, just like you see me do, like this. I have two semicircle now, and I'll be cutting it out on my marker. What I'll be doing now is to wrap the semicircle. So I will go ahead and do that. I am going to be making use of my crepe fabrics. I have placed the semicircle on it, and I will just cut it out all the way around. And guys, don't forget to cut it out with allowances all the way around. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do now is to add my gum all the way around the areas here, and then I'll be using the fabrics to cover it up. Just watch as I am going to do it. I am making some notches around the cuff edge so that it will be easy for me to cover up. When you're done doing this, make sure your gum doesn't show at the right side. This is what it looks like after I was done. So now I'm going to wrap this with my sequence lace. Just like I do with my crepe fabrics, I'll cut out the lace, giving it allowance just exactly as I did with the crepe fabrics. So now I'm going to go ahead and cover up with my lace like you see me do like this. This is quite time consuming. It's not as easy as it looks. It really takes time. So now guys, I'm going to place my gum on the areas that I'm going to be using it to cover. I only apply my gum on the bones. Don't allow your gum to pour on the net so that it will not be looking messy. Just add your gum on the bones. So once I'm done with that, I went ahead to cover it up on the other one like this. So now I will go in with my needle and thread. It is not that easy using needle and thread to stitch this because of the marco. You just need to be very patient to pass your needle and thread through when you're using marco. So I decided to do it all the way around. So guys, this is what it looks like after I was done using my needle and thread to tack it all the way around. It looks very strong. If you want to add appliques or flowers to your hand fan, this is the stage where you get to apply it, where you get to stitch or gum it to your hand fan. It is optional though. If you don't want to add anything to it, you can leave it like this. So guys, this is what I had, and this is the final look of my hand fan because I am not stitching or applying petals or flowers to it. Thank you so much guys for watching. I hope you find this tutorial helpful and I hope you'll be trying this out soon. See you in the next one. Bye.